Have you ever heard of ghost marriages? It's a tradition where the living marry the deceased. It might sound like something out of a horror movie, but for some, it's a very real and serious ritual. Today, we're diving into a story that's both chilling and strangely romantic. The story of a girl who didn't just believe in ghosts, she married one. The story begins in a small, quiet village nestled among rolling hills. Our protagonist is a young woman named Elara. She was known throughout the village for her gentle spirit and her uncanny ability to see things others couldn't. From a young age, Elara claimed to see shimmering figures and hear faint whispers on the wind. While most villagers dismissed it as childish fantasy, her grandmother, a woman steeped in ancient lore, knew better. She told Elara that she had the sight, a rare gift that connected her to the world beyond our own. As Elara grew, her connection to the spirit world deepened. She wasn't frightened by it. In fact, she found a strange comfort in the presence of these unseen entities. They were her silent companions, her secret friends. But one spirit was different. He appeared to her not as a fleeting shadow, but as a clear, handsome young man, dressed in old-fashioned clothing. His name, he whispered to her in a dream, was Liam. Liam wasn't a terrifying specter. He was kind, witty, and had eyes that held a universe of untold stories. He told Elara he had lived in her very house over a century ago, a young poet who died tragically of a fever before he could ever find love. He was drawn to Elara's light, her vibrant soul that shone like a beacon in the darkness of his non-existence. They would spend hours together, Elara speaking out loud, Liam responding in thoughts that bloomed directly in her mind. He would guide her hand as she wrote poetry and hum forgotten melodies for her to play on her piano. Naturally, the villagers started to notice Elara's odd behavior. They saw her talking to herself in the garden, laughing at jokes no one else heard, and saving a seat at the dinner table for an invisible guest. Rumors began to spread. Some said she was mad, driven to insanity by loneliness. Others whispered that she was cursed, entangled with a malevolent spirit. Her parents, worried and confused, tried everything from doctors to local priests, but nothing could sever the bond between Elara and Liam. To her, he was more real and more loving than anyone in the living world. One evening, as they sat by the fireplace, Liam's ethereal form shimmering in the firelight, he asked her a question that would change everything. He asked her to marry him. Elara didn't hesitate. In her heart, their souls were already bound. She wanted to make it official, to declare her love not just to the spirit world, but to the living one as well, regardless of their judgment. The announcement was met with shock and horror. Her parents begged her to reconsider. The village elder warned her of the dangers of tying her mortal life to a spirit, that it would drain her life force and condemn her to a lonely existence, caught between two worlds. But Elara's resolve was unbreakable. Her love for Liam was absolute. Finding someone to officiate such a ceremony was nearly impossible. The local church refused, calling it sacrilege. But Elara's grandmother, who had always understood her gift, knew of an ancient tradition, a ritual seldom practiced but passed down through generations, a ghost marriage. It was a ceremony designed to unite a living soul with the departed one, ensuring the spirit could find peace and the living partner would be protected and blessed. The ceremony was held at dusk, in a secluded grove of ancient trees that the villagers believed was a gateway between worlds. Elara wore a beautiful white gown, not one of mourning, but of celebration. Instead of a groom standing beside her, a single perfect white rose was placed on a pedestal, representing Liam. The grandmother officiated, chanting ancient words that had been silent for centuries. She spoke of love that transcends life and death, of two souls intertwining across the veil. As Elara said her vows, a sudden gust of wind swept through the grove, rustling the leaves and making the candles flicker wildly. The white rose on the pedestal pulsed with a soft, silvery light, and Elara felt a familiar, gentle presence envelop her. She felt Liam's hand in hers, not as a physical touch, but as a warmth that spread through her entire being. She placed a simple gold ring on the rose's stem, and on her own finger a matching ring appeared, cool and solid. In that moment, she was no longer Elara the strange girl, but Elara, wife to a spirit. Life after the marriage was different. Outwardly, little had changed. Alara still lived in her family home, but now she carried herself with a new sense of peace and purpose. The villagers, though still wary, began to see a change in her. Her eyes, once haunted, were now filled with a serene joy. The whispers didn't stop, but they were now tinged with a sense of awe and curiosity rather than just fear. Alara never felt lonely. Liam was always with her. He was the warmth on a sunny day, the whisper in the leaves, the inspiration behind the beautiful music she played. She would tell people she was happily married, and when they'd look at her empty side, she would just smile. She knew he was there, and that was all that mattered. According to the legend, Alara lived a long and peaceful life. She never remarried, remaining devoted to Liam until her last day. It's said that when she passed away peacefully in her sleep at an old age, the scent of white roses filled the entire house. The villagers who went to pay their respects swore they saw two shimmering figures, hand in hand, walk out of the house and disappear into the morning mist. This story, whether you believe it to be a true account or a beautiful piece of folklore, challenges our understanding of love, life, and death. It asks us to consider that perhaps the connections we make aren't limited by our physical existence. Can love truly conquer all, even the final barrier of death? Is a life spent with an unseen love a tragedy, or is it the ultimate romance? The tale of Alara and Liam has been passed down for generations, a local legend that serves as a reminder that the world is far more mysterious than we think and that the heart can find a home in the most unexpected of places. It's a story that blurs the line between the spooky and the sacred, the lonely and the loved. So what do you think? Was Alara a delusional woman who sacrificed her life for a fantasy? Or did she experience a love so profound it transcended the very fabric of reality? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. It's a fascinating subject to think about. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the strange and wonderful. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the world's most mysterious tales. Until next time, stay curious.